Hello, and welcome back to Pwnery's Penny Arcade. And this is episode 2 of Call of Saregnar, the demo. This is the next 30, and we'll see how many I can get in here before I run out of demo to show you. Anyway, we picked up where we left off last. We're inside the abandoned farm, I guess you could call it, and we found the body, missing 2 fingers with a burnt face and an iron rod in his back, of the guy who cheated at cards and stole our money. And now we're being called out by 2 people outside. So, let's see what happens, shall we? Let's not make them wait, Hugh, Sam said as he concealed a throwing knife in his sleeve. Got any fine spell to distract the bolt-firing whoreson? I do, Hewan replied, a lump forming in his throat. But I never used it to do harm before. It is forbidden, he added gravely, then closed his eyes in concentration. And so, this is our battle sequence. It is a little different than Betrayal at Krondor, but not by much. Krondor did squares, straight lines, and angles, or straight lines and 90-degree turns, whereas this does them in hexagons. So, what we want to do is we want to attack the swordsman first, because this guy's accuracy is pretty garbage anyway. So I'm going to go after this guy. Ooh, that was a good hit. Now, Hewan's a magician, and he has spells, which should look pretty familiar to you, again, if you played a Betrayal at Krondor, and I love that. So right now we have these 2 different schools of thought. This spell is a healing spell, and then this one here is a fire spell, and that's the one we're going to want to use. And just like in Krondor, you get to choose the strength of your spell, and it takes away your endurance. So you have hit points here, and you have stamina here, just like Krondor. And magic uses your stamina, and once your stamina tanks, your mobility gets worse, your attack strength gets worse, your swing power gets worse, your accuracy, you know the deal. So let's just get this started to the point where I can do moderate damage without sacrificing too much of my energy, and we're just going to knock out the first guy as quickly as possible by setting him on fire. That kind of hurt because we were point blank. That sucked. Thankfully that guy went down quick. So now we're going to burn this cheeky bastard. And I think we're going to use... No, we're going to use like just some endurance. There we go. See, his accuracy is terrible. Now the really cool part is that I've noticed so far is in Krondor, you can have a weapon and a crossbow. In this game, this guy only has a crossbow. So if I get in his face, he has to keep running away, which ruins his attack turn. Which you're about to see here. Now, I'm in pretty poor state here, so I'm just going to use this opportunity to rest. I think that raises his stamina. It's very slow, so it's kind of hard to notice. So right now we're, what, about halfway up his ear? Yeah, it's going up a little bit. He dodged. So we're just going to heal again. Now, that guy's stamina is beaten down so much that he didn't even get a turn. And he can't run either. Man down. Hewan stood in silence, staring at the bodies of the fallen. Just moments before, these bandits were trying to kill him, and now they lay motionless at his feet. Don't dwell on it, Hugh. It was either us or them. I know, but still, I feel filthy. We could have, I don't know, negotiated or something. The only thing you could have negotiated would be a trip to the nearest burial ground. If they'd find our bodies, that is. Now get over here and help me search them. They've got to have some money on them. So, here's the archer. Now he's got a crossbow, but I can't do anything with it because neither one of my guys can equip it. I've got 3 rations, you've got 4 rations. So I can't split this evenly, but I'll try my best. 2 and 2. And who's carrying the torches? Both of you are carrying torches. Well, you can have all of them. And then, this is our swordsman. Oh, there's the money we were missing. See? Heyday! Always check the rations, because much like Krondor, they spoil, or they're poisoned. So these are good. You just right-click the item, it gives you a full description. Alright, so who's offset? 5 and 6. So that means you get 2, and you get 1. That should make us even. 7 and 7. Good. Excellent. Now the other thing is, if you remember the texture joke earlier, see how it keeps facing you? If I turn, the body moves. Oh my god, he's not dead, he's still spinning. What the hell? Alright, so we're done there. I think there's nothing else we can do here. Hewan stared at the body. Sam, I think we should bury him, he said. There was a look of near pity on his face. Just leave it to the beasts, replied Sam, shaking his head. It won't be long until something catches his scent and drags him away. Yeah, you stole from us. Screw you. Well, let's go check out... Let's go head back to Dina now. It's kind of late at night. That's okay. Actually, no, let's go ahead and get some rest. We'll set to this hour. Get our endurance back. That's good. Says our health is all the way up, but it doesn't look like that. Maybe that's not our health. No, it's gotta be. It's gotta be. Oh, did we get a journal update? We found the gambler dead in an old isolated house south of the temple. He must have been killed by the brigands who ambushed us as we examined the body. I never killed a man before. Sam said to not dwell on it, that it was either us or them. I know he's right, but still, I wish there had been some other way. There just isn't, dude. We're gonna run back to town. Now, if I go back to this house again, this must be No-Mau's house, the farmer we met at the temple. He's likely not coming back anytime soon. Let's leave. So, there's a side quest somewhere about finding that guy's wife. I'm certain of it. I haven't delved into that too much yet, but I did find another side quest, and I will show it to you. Have a drink. I don't know if that helps our characters at all, but it just makes me feel better. I'm just like, I did it. It's fine. It's fine. Let's wash our face, too. Gotta get the blood off our hands, right? Alright, Dina. We're back. I'll make a little bit of money. Despite Sam's best efforts to translate the song that sounded so right in his head onto the delicate instrument, he knew he did rather poorly. You're lucky the patrons are in high spirits and demand I pay you, the innkeeper grimaced as he produced 2 ocean and 3 leshen. He passed it to Sam. Yep, just like Krondor. And I suspect... Let's see, I didn't check that before. No, it doesn't have barding skill, does it? Look at that. I wonder if it's... I don't know. We got through it. Hi, baby. Unless you have the money you owe me, Sam, you better walk right out. It's 1 Savion and not a leshen less. How about I give you the money I owe you, and on top of that, tell you the little story of how we got it? You serious? I already took the money. Truth to tell, I didn't expect to ever see you again. Was it much trouble finding the gambler? Let's just say it got troublesome after we found him. He holed himself up in an old house down south, outside the village, but apparently we weren't the only ones looking for him. Anyway, care to buy us a round of ale, Dina? I'll be hard-pressed to finish the tale if I don't lubricate my tongue first. Alright, but this better be good. Hewan sat in amazement throughout the recount. There were no lies to Sam's words, but the way he told the tale made it feel like a completely different, much more heroic deed than the slaughter it actually was. Sam made sure to speak loud enough for all to hear and appreciate what he had to tell. If there was anything dull to the account, he found a way to make it exciting, and when the story hit the high points, he elevated it to court-worthy poetry. When he was finally done, he drained his cup and slammed it on the table, making the patrons who followed the tale jump in their seats. Dina sat speechless, her lips parted in awe. I find it hard to believe you two did what you did, but I'd be glad to listen to that tale again. Some other time, dear. Me and Hugh have urgent business to attend to his cousins. I promise you that I'll have more adventures to share the next time I pass through these lovely parts. Thanks for the ale, Dina. Think nothing of it, Hewan. And Sam, do come by again, alright? See? So he's got her, and he's got the chick at the temple. So far. I promised, didn't I? We don't need this, we don't need this. We're all good. See you around. Must be on our way. Safe travels to the both of you. Now you can talk to these guys. Salt, brother. You wouldn't have a few coins on you, would you? Asked the man, his gaze pointing it somewhat towards Hewan. Began Hewan, but Sam interjected. He doesn't, my good man. Oh, was all the soldier said, then returned to his ale. We paid our and the gambler's debt to Dina. Now I can finally go back to talk to Arthur about that book. You can talk to these guys, too. Hewan approached the table. The man looked up from his food and said, "Blessings to you. I'd usually be up for a game of cards, but I'll just have some peace and quiet today." And that's all you get out of him. And this guy here? "Selt," he said. "Name's Nabin. I take care of the Lord's vines and the eels." "You're not from around here," he said, matter-of-factly. "No, we're just passing through," Hewan replied. "Ah, travelers. Well, can't give you much advice since I rarely venture outside Romar. But I'd be sure to pay close attention to what I eat on the road. Rations, no matter how well prepared, can go bad, you know. Sound familiar?" They went on for a while about various subjects, but at last they thanked the man for the advice and bid him farewell. And that's really all you get out of this place. For now. Somebody's got, like, gangrene of the lungs like I do. Alright, let's go walk around a bit in town, since we've got town to explore now. The air smelled of freshly baked pastry. Hewan's knocking was answered by a shushing voice within, and he threw a questioning look at Sam. A few seconds later, a rather attractive red-haired lady in her 40s opened the door. "Blessings. I haven't seen you around here before. Care to try one of my tarts? I'm Nisa. Been baking all morning." "Well, began Hewan, but he was quickly cut off as Nisa shoved a buttered pastry into his mouth. "So, delicious, isn't it?" she asked. Then she started pulling at Hewan's sleeve, dragging him inside. "Come on, don't be shy. Come in. I don't bite." The door closed right into Sam's bewildered face. Time passed, and just as Sam was starting to worry for his friend, the door swooshed open. A blushing Hewan walked out of it, followed by a rather cheerful Nisa who stepped at the doorstep. "See you again soon, Hewan. I'll have more for you if you ever stop by again," she said, then winked at Sam and closed the door. Sam's mask of worry slowly faded and turned into a big grin. "So," he began. "Oh, just drop it, Sam. Let's go." So apparently, Hewan is quite the ladies' man. Because, you know, how often do you just walk up to a door where everything smells like warm pastries and have a hot, red-headed, MILF-like aged woman drag you in and have her way with you, while leaving your friend outside? That's not real. That's so not real. I'm not bitter or anything. Hewan knocked and waited. When it was obvious no one was going to open the door, Hewan said, "Let's not waste any more time here. Let's leave." Nothing there. Man, got the bakery chick. And you got the herb chick. What if you combine the two? And you have, like, I don't know, herbal pastries. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go to this door here. An elderly man opened the door. "I'm sorry, I have something urgent to attend to, but let me give you a little advice. Avoid my neighbor. She's crazy." Having said that, the man bid them goodbye and closed the door. He's talking about this house, with this weird stone, which you can't click on. And just to follow his advice for now, we're going to avoid this house. don't worry, we'll be back to it later. This is the one I really want to go to. As soon as Hewan knocked, the heavy door swung open, and a man in his late 50s emerged from the house, his face radiating impatience. Well, it's about time. I was beginning to worry that you two had lost your way. Sir Halligan is expecting results, and from what I've gathered, you still need to learn which side of the sword does the stabbing. And where's the rest of your group? Excuse us, but you must have confused us with somebody else. We're just travelers, and we're hoping you could spare a moment to talk. Oh, that's a shame. I really thought you came for sparring lessons. Well, in that case, what do you want to know? Well, how about lessons? Well, you mentioned sparring lessons. We might be interested to freshen some of our skills ourselves. As long as the other group I'm expecting doesn't show up, I could find the time for you. However, my services do not come cheap. You must understand. For let's say 8 ocean, I could teach your friend there how to handle the sword better. I can even show you a few tricks with the staff. What do you say? As intriguing as your offer sounds, how about you tell us who you are and why we should spend that much coin training with you? Fair enough. Name is Hans Sandar, although most call me Master Sandar, and I'm known to be a master in my art. I was once a captain in Lord Aaron's army. Lord Aaron's army. But now I spend time tutoring those who want to learn the fine art of swordsmanship. That's remarkable. As I understand, Lord Aaron is the Duke of Quam. I hear the area is anything but peaceful up there, as you would come to expect of any border settlement. But more than that, in the last years of my captainship, things were only going for the worst, and I wasn't getting any younger, so I asked for an early retirement, but in exchange I agreed to train the king's men when I was asked to. Sounds like you made a fair deal. Works for me. I keep myself in shape, and my old bones away from Quam. From Quam keeps drafty walls. Also, I get to spar with many a lord's son, and sometimes even a Prince Nicholas himself invites me for a match. So, are you interested? Hell yeah! Sounds like a worthwhile investment. When do we start? Follow me. If there was any lingering doubts over Hans being a master of swordplay, they were quickly dismissed as he began pointing out the many mistakes in Sam's posture, footwork, and technique. He even taught Hewan how to take advantage of the staff's extended reach, and how important it was to slide the grip along the various points of the weapon, depending on the situation. The lessons continued well into the evening, and when they were done, both boys were exhausted and slightly battered, but gained invaluable knowledge and skill. Thank you, Master Sandar. That was most enlightening. Now, if you excuse us, we need some rest. You completely thrashed us back there. Ha! While it's obvious you boys don't have much experience in the field, you certainly pick up fast. Practice on what you've learned and you'll make fine fighters one day. We'll be on our way. So, our melee skill went up 10 points, and our defense skill went up 10 points for both characters. Very useful to have. Yeah, we're a little broke, but so far I haven't noticed much need for the money. Like, the demo has provided what I needed so far. Look at this place. What posh bastard lives here? Let's go wash our face. Oh, okay, we're already clean. Check around the outside of the house. Barrels. I can click on them, but I can't do anything with them. Fine. Oh, what's this? Looks like a grand sort of shack. Okay. What about this? Okay. I guess we'll have to hit the front door then. So this is where the generously full cellar is. Yes, too bad we don't have time to see it since you're in such a hurry to leave town. You can't leave town on an empty stomach, and as I've heard, noble courtesy dictates to treat your guests well. I knew I wasn't just hearing things. Father said it was like a dog barking, but I recognize a rascal when I hear one. You're offending me, my lord. It's good to see you again, cousin. You won't believe what happened since the last night at the inn. Did you find the gambler? How do you know about the gambler? It's a small town. News travels fast. Also, Dina's been asking if I've seen you two, although she won't admit it. She's been feeling a little guilty for chasing you out in the middle of the night. Oh, is that so? Just don't go telling her I told you. You know how she is. Noble or not, she'll have my head on a spit if she learns how I open my mouth. Don't worry, we never heard anything from you. I can't vouch for him, but I'll keep quiet. Anyway, we did find the man. He lies dead in an old isolated house south of the temple. You killed him? No, but we killed those who did. The two bandits who skewered the gambler ambushed us. I'm sure one of the gods must be looking after us, or we'd be dead in their stead. Is that so? Well, I'm glad to see you two alive and well. So are you going to tell me, or are you telling me that I've got 3 bodies to bury now? Well, next time we plan on leaving bodies our way, we'll bring shovels. I'm sure you will. Come, you can give me details over a cup of wine. After that, Hewan, I'm sure you'd be interested to see that book. They spent an hour going over the details of the recent events, Hewan explaining and Sam filling in the colorful and mostly unnecessary details. When they were done, Arthur suggested that they leave Sam to enjoy the wine, while he and Hewan would go study to see the book the young mage was so eager to examine. While Arthur leaned on the fireplace sipping wine, Hewan dug into the complex passages of the tome. He spent well over an hour going through the difficult language, but finally he put down the book and said, "Do you know what this is?" "All I know is that it's written in the old language, and I've never studied it. All books on magic are written in Arnai, so only those who have been learning magic can understand it, and not hurt themselves in the process." Arthur took another sip. "Go on." "The title is Accounts from Samaris and Beyond. As far as I'm aware, there's only one such copy in existence, and that one resided at the Endara University." Arthur straightened. "But surely there must be more copies of it out there, right?" Hewan took a deep breath as he closed the large leather-bound volume. "What you have here is a manuscript inked down by Delafan himself. A forbidden manuscript. Too dangerous a book to copy. That's a very Rick Harrison Pawn Stars type thing." "Arthur, now listen closely. This book can get you in a lot of trouble for knowing about it, let alone having it. I do not dare taking it onto the road. Sorry. So as much as it pains me to do so, I must leave it in your custody." "You're just going to leave it here?" "I must reach Endara as soon as possible and inform the mage. They will send someone to retrieve the book. You must not tell anyone about it. Understood?" "I can't say I'm thrilled about the idea, but perhaps you're right. I will hide it in a safe place and await for the mages to pick it up." "Don't worry. I'll explain to them how you got a hold of it. They shouldn't bother you. Just keep it safe." "I will." Alright, let's check our journal. The book Arthur purchased is Delafan's forbidden book. I must go to Endara at once and let the head mage know about it. I can't trust anyone to do it in my stead. So, we're sort of done with this area. Now, if you head north, I'll just show you, because you don't have to go very far. Let me check the map. There's no points of interest up here yet. But if we continue to go this way, the game will tell you, unless we want to take an exhaustingly long scenic route around the Samai Mountains, we should just turn around. Besides, it's imperative that I return to Endara as quickly as possible. So it tells you, no, not that way, genius. And then you turn around and go the other way. It's fine. It's all fine. Now, the way that fatigue sets in this game is a little different than most, at least from my experience. But it does it like Krondor. It just doesn't really tell you when it's going to do it. It just happens. And your guy's just like, we should camp out and rest. Go grab a drink. Now, I think I left something behind near the dead bodies. So we're going to head back over that way right quick. Then we're going to keep heading south. We might even camp out for the night because it is kind of late. Kind of dark. Yeah, because I'm going to have to be able to see where we're going. The thing I'm looking for is back here somewhere anyway. There we go. So this is like the wooded path behind the house, if I'm not mistaken. There it is. This is the same dialogue about the chests. Always round and hollow I am, though sizes and matters I come in many. A children's trinket or a lord's signet. It depends. For the rolls, I have plenty. Round and hollow, like a ring? There we go. And we got 6 more rations, which is very useful. 3 here, 3 here. And torches here. And money. Because we spent all our money. I don't think I can wiggle my way through this. Yeah. I think that was the thing I was looking for, because there's nothing past the bodies, right? Just the grave. Yeah, we already done this. So, we head south. One thing I like about this demo is they give you a taste of a lot of the things you're going to find throughout the game. So, for instance, if you notice, we haven't had any random encounters yet. But we will. Always keep your eye off the beaten path too, because you might see something like a treasure chest or a point of interest or something you can click on. So, off the beaten path, and it looks like a little village. So we'll go this way. I don't think it's on the map. Yeah, see, this isn't even on the map. This place. Like, it doesn't have a town name or something. And there's no town marker either. So I suspect this is just like one farm. Yeah, it's just one farm. Now before I knock on the door, I just want to take a quick look around. And there appears to be nothing around. Huh? Just trying to be thorough. Can't click on the water. Alright, let's go knock on the door. They knocked and waited. Hewan was already leaving when a weak female voice called from within. "Please come in," was all she said. They entered the house and found a middle-aged woman tending to a man lying on a straw pallet. She explained how her husband caught a fever 3 nights earlier and has grown worse as time passed. "I barely slept since," she said, tears gathering in her eyes. "I don't know what to do." Hewan approached and looked at the pale figure of a man. "If there's anything we can do, perhaps we can help." "Would you, sir?" The woman looked at him, pleadingly at her man. "He needs a healer, and I don't dare leave him alone," she added. "Do you know where we can find a healer?" "At the temple of Tanana, perhaps," Hewan asked. "They wouldn't lift a finger to help us. Some ridiculous family feud between Hans's late father and the temple. They won't help us," her words faltered. "I'm sure we could find some way to help him. Perhaps there's another healer around at the village or something," Hewan said reassuringly. "We'll be back soon." The woman took Hewan's hand into her own. "Brannar's blessings." Hewan nodded something uncertainly, smiling uncertainly. Then they left and gently closed the door. Journal. Hans, a man living on an isolated farm south of Romar, is gravely ill. His wife told us that the temple of Tanan wouldn't help due to some family feud, so we need to ask around the village if there's another healer who can help. Now, my initial thought when I read that was to go back to the temple. But the temple, in my original playthrough, turned up nothing. However, if you remember, we were warned not to go to a certain house back at town because there was a crazy lady there. Let's go talk to the crazy lady. Oh, it's fixing to rain. Yep, look at that. I love how they put those effects in there. And the sun moves across the sky too. And it gets hidden behind clouds. It's really awesome. And it has a fog effect too, I've noticed. So, random encounters and battles with rain and fog should be quite interesting. I'm really curious when this game is going to release. Like, I will do a full like LP of it because I love this style of game. If you guys haven't noticed. If you're wondering why I take the bridge, because they won't let you cross water. See? Not unless there's like stones in the water, like when you go into the temple. Are we thirsty? Let's have a drink. I'd say let's wash our face, but we're being rained on. Try it anyway, I guess. Yep, there. I'm bringing sexy back. Alright, so here's the weird house. The air tingled. Hewan halted as he approached the little moss-covered house. I'm not sure we should be here. There's a magic about this place, but I don't like how alien it feels. Sam wasn't about to argue, so by the time the door cracked open, he was already a dozen feet away. "Don't leave," spoke a frail voice from within. "'Tis a rare opportunity to meet a fellow Osmani these days." She paused, and Hewan felt that tingling sensation again. She continued, "Even the old ways seem lost on you. Doesn't matter. Will you come inside?" "I think we will. But for now, we're out of time for the day." Haha! This was Call of Saregnar, the demo, episode 2 of the next 30. If you'd like to get a copy of this game for yourself or see what happens next, you can either tune in to the next episode, or you can download it using the link in the description below. If you're new to my channel, welcome, but if you're a regular here, welcome back. Either way, maybe check out my other playlist and see if my other interests might be of interest to you. Don't worry, we're going to continue this in the next episode. So until then, we'll see you later. Bye.